Hello, what is up, gamers? Yo, it's like a week out from Worlds Osaka. Just doing some last minute. It's not even last minute. Still probably got another 50 drafts or something to go, but some last week drafts. Let's just jump right into it. I'm drafting on the Runaways Discord server at the moment using the Draft Mancer client. Alright, let's get into it. So, this is pack one, pick one. Oh, okay. I was hoping for a more difficult choice. So things to note, there's only one lightning common in this pack, 3 Runeblade, 3 Wizard, Earth Helm, Majestic is a... it's not that good, I want to say, but I think people still might be overvaluing this card. Arcane Casting Red is good, 2-0 for 3 Wizard Hijabs. And obviously we have Plow Under, which is the bomb of the pack. The problem with taking the Plow Under here is obviously we take the foil, it doesn't send any signals, and we're leaving the Earth Helm into Earth Commons, as well as passing 2 pretty good Runeblade cards, which pretty much locks us into... Does it? Well, we're taking this anyway and see what happens. Alright. Okay. Sorry, I'm a bit laggy, but already straight away we can see that this is another bomb pack. They took the foil as well, so we've got Burn Up Shock and the 10-foot tall and Bulletproof. Both of these cards are really, really good. This card I think is absolutely broken in Florian. You can just end a game. And I never like passing Burn Up Shock. Of course, we've already took the Plow Under. Another 2 good Runeblade cards. So I'm not sure. 2 really good lightning cards as well. So I'm just thinking what rainbow foil is worth picking over these 2 cards. There's not that many things I want to say. Like, it has to be like a Germany or something, or a Felling. I'm gonna go take this. At least it goes into every class. And I'm pretty much staying away from Aurora, I think. Okay, so what are we looking at here? So commons up front, so 1 lightning, 1 earth missing and or generic, 3 Runeblade, 3 Wizard, Earth Helm still here, 0 for 4. Blue Decompose, all pretty good. I think with the Plow Under in this card, and most likely one of these 2 people will be Aurora, hopefully, that we pass in the Burn Up and Shock. We just want to lock in Earth, and I'm probably taking this. Okay, so we have potentially Earth missing, potentially Runeblade and class card missing, and one of the rares in All Majestics missing. So 2 pretty okay Earth Blues. This doesn't really play that well in Florian. I think, I don't know if, yeah, I think we're just gonna cut the take the Earth Commons, try to send as strong as a signal as possible at the moment. Okay, so in rare and the foil missing, potentially one of each element, and potentially a wizard card. By the way, these packs on Runaway server, I think they're based off the Belgian print. It's quite different from what I'm used to drafting in terms of Japanese print, which is a lot more set in the commons, at least the first 5 commons, and which is what I'm hoping we'll be drafting in Japan. But like, I mean, obviously this card is good, but with one of the wizard cards potentially missing, I don't know. I am going to just take this generic, which is Okay, Autumn Such Yellow is a card that is good for us. Okay, so these cards are pretty good. Now I have to. So what do we take? The pick really is this Red Strong Yield or Yellow Autumn's Touch. Red Strong Yield just full locks us into Florian, I think, which is okay, but it means such a good card for Florian, and our deck is already looking pretty solid. I think I'm gonna go take that. Okay, so we are, at least from our right, being passed pretty strong Earth cards, which we're happy with. It does look like at least someone's in Runeblade, which is okay, because if they're in Aurora and we're passing we're passing someone else on our left into Aurora, we're happy with that. So I'm just going to take the strength. What are we looking at here? Blue Earth is just fine. This card is pretty good. And Florian. Wizard's missing. Alright, now we get our wheel. Okay, cool. Yeah, sure. I think nothing to talk about. The 2 red wizard cards are missing. The Earth Helm is missing. The lightning, 1 lightning, 1 earth is missing, but I mean, I think we're pretty committed to Florian. None of these cards, this is okay. Like, I think a lot of people really like this card. I'm like, okay, I don't hate it. Yeah, I mean, we're passing to an Aurora, so we just take this anyway. Here, take a blue or discard. No feeling. Probably gonna get enough blues. This card is as a block 3. I don't know. I don't like playing against that card, so I'm gonna just take it. Here's a Jofindel versus this. I'm probably taking blue with some upside on Florian. Taking the Earth. It's a pretty good card. Yellow Cussing probably won't make the deck, but it is okay. Yeah, so pretty solid pick. It's a online draft, so I don't get much time to review. Alright, what are we looking at here? I see the red Dirge, of course, red 3 for 7, red Decompose. So these 3 would be the choices. Probably not the Dirge at this point. I'm only on 1 Decompose card at the moment. I'm not too stressed out. I don't personally like just drafting a bunch of Decompose and for no reason. We're passing this, which is okay. Passing some pretty good wizard cards, but I think it's a pretty simple pick of this. Just gonna see what we potentially get on the wheel. We'll definitely get this back. We might even get this. What have we? No, it's still always this. Alright, time to see what our left went into, hopefully. They took, it looks like either Runeblade or Earth. Doesn't affect us because we're slamming this. So I'm guessing they took the Runeblade card, because it's unlikely they're Earth. Well, maybe. No, yeah, because if we're assuming they're Aurora at this point, they probably just took a Runeblade card, like a red meet and greet or something. I mean, we're taking this, just taking a look what we get. We probably get a blue back, which is nice. Alright, we're really happy with that. Fruits red, or tilling yellow. Well, that's actually a really hard choice. Okay. So the rare is missing, and a lightning card and or Runeblade card, which kind of makes sense. They're both 3 for 7s. I guess Tilling's slightly better being a yellow. This has upside, obviously. A Decomposer. We've got 1, 2 pretty good Decompose cards so far. I think it's always worth cutting some Decompose cards if possible. Yeah, we're taking the Well-Grounded. Are these gonna load? Cool. So I'm not gonna look too much into this. I'm just taking the Well-Grounded. I'm such red. Okay. I feel like I wanted to record a slightly more draft that requires some more like difficult choices, but sure. Mechanic Spike. We're on Carapace. This is a pretty nice blue, especially we're low on Decompose at the moment, and we don't really have many Earth blues. Do also want some form of life gain. We have nothing at the moment, so we might just get blown up by wizards. But I think this card's like, I mean, it's probably better than the blue Fertile Grounds, probably better than this. I'm just gonna take this. Start filling out blues. Yeah, we've got this is pretty good. I like the Harvest Seasons, but I don't think I can pass on this. I don't think the one that we pass is gonna wheel. What? In a normal scenario, I think I would just hate draft this, but because we're so low on blues, because we've been drafting so many good reds, I kind of almost just want to take like one of these. A bit low on Earth as well. Not that low, but it's not. We're probably gonna get more blue Earths. This card is just good to hate away from someone else. Oh wow. Okay, this is how we are. So interesting. So as we said, this wheeled as expected. Look, a pretty strong wizard at the table. I don't know what to think about this. I don't know if I take this or take this. Too many good cards. I'm just gonna take this. Oh my god. Okay. Let's start. We do get a blue back that we were hoping for. So looks like there's only one wizard drafter. It's probably a Verdance by the look of it. Maybe there's two wizards and they're just prioritizing different things. Oh god. Alright. There. Let's take this. Sigil, blue, block 3, or a strength of the 4 seasons. Let's look at our attacks. But we're doing okay, so I'm gonna start filling out my blue blocks. This probably never makes the deck. This, I mean, whatever, right? But I'm just gonna take the blue. Gives me more space to waste a few picks hate drafting on pack 3. Oh god, it starts so fast. Always forget what this does. Okay, this is the thing that's not that good. I mean, I'm taking this, but what are we passing? We're passing left again. So this is probably gone on the wheel, which means we'll get one of these cards back, like one of these 3 back, which is pretty nice. We don't think I'm getting this back, but I mean, this card's good. Okay, that's some good cards. Ooh. If we take one of the Earth cards, we're definitely not wheeling this. If we take this, we might wheel one of the Earth cards. That's, I think this will be gone. So if we take this card, then we're probably getting one of these 3, or no, we get a pretty good wheel is what I'm trying to say. Whereas if I just slam the strong yield, I feel like the wheel, it's going to be a little bit worse. Yeah. I mean, that card's kind of good anyway. Not kind of good, it's really good. We don't have a chess piece yet, and we do have at least one arcane cussing. And we're thinking we might wheel 1 or 2 Deadwood, Sigil of Deadwood, so this is pretty good. Another Decompose in yellow, whatever. We do need life gain, as mentioned. We might wheel this. This card is good. I'm just gonna try to fill out my equipment now. I do still need an arm piece, which we probably won't get. Okay, so here is the life gain that we need. It's really sad to pass the best blue earth card, but that's alright. And we'll probably get a playable back, but yeah, this is fine. I think I'm just going with this. And because we're online and we can cheat and see how many blues we have, and earth cards, etc. Pretty low on blues and earth, so to just say it, we need some life gain. I mean, this is pretty good. This is also really good, especially playing any mirrors. We don't like that being played against us either. Given we don't have like the arms, this is a little bit worse, I think. I'm just gonna take the harvest season, start shoring up my life gain. I'm gonna take the earth card over the sigil, because we'll probably get one, at least one on the wheel. Okay, now this is the last pack before we get our wheels. And this third pack had a lot of these. Decompose cards. So I've got, I want to say 3. So the red and blue thingy. So yellow. So I've got 4. So 2 of these and 2 of these in different colors. I'm going to take this just as insurance, I think. Don't need it. Okay, as expected, this wheel, but also this wheel. Gains life. It's not that good, but it's an earth card and it blocks 3. And next pack we might get another one of these back. There we go. Yeah, but I'm so low on blues. Oh my god, how greedy can I be? I mean, I can't really pass this. It's annoying. Okay, and here we have to take the blue. Where? I'm pretty sure it's this. Earth count. Yeah, I'm good enough. Cool. And that is a draft. Yeah, that's a Florian draft. I think whoever's drafting wizard at the table is gonna have a pretty good time. Let's do a quick look before we do anything else. Just see where the heroes, what the hero spread was. So we were passing to an Aurora as expected. Who were passing to, what is this? Oh, so 2 Aurora in a row. Into the Acilio. Yes, this is Acilio, right? Okay. Wait, what is this? This is just wizard, I guess. Okay, yeah, I guess it's Acilio. Into our opponent round 1, which is a 4. So they were, no. Wait, what? Oh, okay, sorry, it's a Florian. I'm trolling. I thought it was a Verdance. What? I thought our deck was good. What is going? This is insane. Must be nice. I don't see those. Here's the Verdance. Okay, so there were 2 wizards. They were just, I guess, drafting really different stuff. And here is a, what is this? This is an Aurora. It's like a Runeblade Aurora kind of thing. And the person passing to us was Acilia. What? There are two Acilia? Man, sometimes I just don't understand this pack distribution online. Like, more like the power cards. Like, every deck looks broken, and I thought our deck was good. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna go make the deck and then come back. Sup, gang? So we're back and watching all of the 3 games I just played. Never mind the fact that I played all these games, recorded myself, and talked to myself for the whole time, because I'm really bad, apparently, at turning on audio. Alright, at least we get to watch it, I guess, on like a bit faster speed, so you don't have to hear me yap the whole time. Game 1 is against Florian. I started out the yellow blossoming decays, just add in the harvest season. I think a lot of the time this goes down to the last couple of cards, and obviously who swings weapon the most can get there sometimes. We're going second and draw into a pretty awkward hand. I mean, if he doesn't attack, this is great. I don't want to block with the red dirge. Well, I don't want to block with any of the 3 cards on the left. Especially 10-foot Torn Bulletproof, obviously. I want to pitch that to the bottom. So he plays Arcane Seeds Life, makes 2 rune chants, and then goes Meet and Greet. And it's actually really hard to block because of how our hand is structured. I can either block with just the Dirge and the Splintering Deadwood like this, and then block the sword for 3 and leak a bunch of damage. Leak essentially 3 damage, turn 0, and draw and keep the 10-foot in my hand. I think better of this. I think the better play is to just Sanctuary the 2 rune chants, pitching 2 reds and then blocking and a yellow, and then blocking the Meet and Greet for 3. I do also consider here whether I want to block with the helmet. I wasn't too sure if there's too much, downside to giving him the rune chant for the next turn, given it's effectively the hat is blocking. I guess it's blocking 2 damage in this point, so it's actually better to use the hat. But yeah, I was kind of thinking when it turns on online later, it's worth 2, and now it's worth 1. But actually, it is probably better to just use the hat there. We drew a pretty good hand going second, just able to set up an aura, immediately use the Rune Ranger Swim, and then swing the weapon. Arsenal a pretty good attack. We aren't going to be able to decompose if we draw into our defense reaction. And here opponents blocking with hat, which of course instantly means that they're going to decompose, but they also block with an earth card as well when they've already got an earth card and an action card in the graveyard. So pretty much, looking back at this, if you do a bit of hand reading, it effectively means they want to go to their turn, decompose, and also then set a defense reaction in the arsenal, or they've already got a defense reaction in the arsenal, so they want to essentially decompose over a 2-turn cycle. Turn on the hero power over a 2-turn cycle. And then, of course, they have the arcane cussing, and then I'm immediately regretting not blocking with my helm on turn 0. Yeah, because otherwise we'd be able to stop this, but that's okay. This was a good learning point for me. Yeah, so as expected, they decompose, keep a card, and put an arsenal, and they're going to be able to decompose. Well, they have enough to decompose again. I think here I'm actually thinking, like, if they put down a defense reaction, is it worth for me to plow under, sink my own arsenal, to deny them turning on their hero power, but plow under obviously attacks for 2 rather than 6, and I have to sink my own arsenal, and then pretty much decide it's not worth it. It's cute, but it's not worth it. So we just attack for 7. He's almost, guaranteed to have the Rootbound Carapace here based on his play. Otherwise, I would have been very surprised. Yeah, so you see me check his grave, and yeah, it's a blue Carapace. So he takes a bit of damage, but his hero power is online straight away, which sometimes it's really important who turns it on first in the mirror, depending on how their decks are built. But yeah, He just takes me for 3 and 6, which isn't the end of the world, I guess. Take the rune chance, no way to prevent it, and I'm going to be able to turn on my hero power in a 2-turn cycle as well, which is nice. So just gonna swing back for 7, and I've still got the Plow Under in Arsenal. Kind of really want to play the Plow Under on a turn where I draw either well, there's already, my harvest season's already gone and one strong yield gone, so really I want to play it on the turn where I draw my second strong yield, just for that really effective kind of cost efficiency. The opponent gives us a couple of 2 blocks, which is nice. Oh, and then attacks us for 8. We're gonna be able to turn on our hero power. This is a really good draw. Essentially, we get to. I mean, we can't use both defense reactions, but it's kind of the same, just blocking off the sigil here, sigil and the red root-bound carapace, and then our hero power is on immediately, which means we get to earth form them. And because they don't have any armor, unless they can decompose, they have a red root-bound carapace as well, blocking 2 cards. Usually, well, it's not going to be enough to stop the earth form on hit, which, because we're online, it's going to make 2 embodiment of earths, which is really nice because we've got quite a few non-attacks in this deck. So being able to get some extra value and essentially save cards in deck is really nice. So yeah. So it takes 1 as expected, get 2 embodiments, and I draw 2 non-attacks that I have the liberty of blocking with. Unfortunately, he just had attacks with swords, so I'm going to be over-blocking this with the Oath of the Dark Knight because it's going to block for 5. And we have a bit of a luck sack drawing into the Cut Through the Facade as he puts up the harvest season. I'm just tanking a little bit here because, as I mentioned earlier, I want to play the Plow Under on a turn where I draw a 1-cost Aura, and Arcane Cussing is 1 cost, but it doesn't ensure that my it's gonna hit, and also this Cut Through the Facade with its on hit is just so good when it's got harvest season up. And I mean, this is just a perfect place to use our Bloodtorn Bodice as well, because it's the only way for us to actually be able to play this Cussing and to Cut Through the Facade. So we're going to be able to make 4 enchants, present 7, and then get rid of his harvest season if it hits. So this is like a 13-point swing of 3 cards. So 3 for 13 effectively. That's pretty good. That's like it's like a purple Thunderquake. I don't know why he just discards the fruits here. I guess he doesn't want to block and just stays on 2. Get rid of the thing. I don't know if that's ever worth it. I might just full-hand block this, unless he can like present near lethal. Well, yeah, okay. He Arcane Seeds, Lives, and then Dirges, and then present 7 and 4. I don't think that's that good. Or that's worth taking how much of a damage that was, and then also losing the harvest season. I think if I was in a spot, I might have just blocked 7 and then swung for 2, but maybe it's like a lose-lose situation anyway at that point. Unfortunately, our Rune Rager Swarm has no way of getting go again, because Thistle Bloom sucks. I hate this card so much. Okay, it's not that bad. It blocks 3. But here, I think I'm just going to overblock this. A lot of time in Florian Mirror, you don't want to overblock anything, just because like every card in deck is so valuable. But our opponent is on 3. We've got armor up and our boots, and going to be able to present some disruption and put down a Rune Rage Swarm, as well as having 10-foot tall and bulletproof cycling in our deck. So I will feel pretty well ahead to give an extra card that, and almost, you know, I'm pretty confident we're not going to go to fatigue in this matchup, even though he's got a Sanctuary up. I think our opponent's just spazzing a little bit here, trying to play their Arsenal Teleshar things. And he pitches 2 reds to heal for 5, which is the same as blocking the 2 reds and then letting the Arsenal go away. But I don't know if that's worth it, because you still have to block on this anyway. Well, you don't have to, but yeah, and blocks. Yeah, I don't know. I might have just blocked for 6 and then presented 6 back, or sorry, blocked for 5, presented for 7 back, maybe. Let the arsenal just tuck itself. We get a free turn, which is good. We draw into our strong yield that turns on the Rune Ranger Swarm. Yeah, I'm just thinking if there's any world where I would dirge my own strong yield here, but I'm pretty sure I've got one more aura left in the deck, which I can, which is Deadwood. What do you call it? Sigil of Deadwood. That's going to be able to present make 6 rune charts when I draw it, which is effectively lethal. Yeah, I think about just throwing 6 or IPing myself and throwing and just going for 4. And at this point I should have known the next card, because we pitched all these to Sanctuary for turn 0. Opponent attacks us for 8. It'll be cute to block 10 here, but we don't need to. We can just block 6. 2-3 blocks and present 13, and opponent is very much dead. Consideration here, blocking of the hat or not. If I don't block with the hat, then if he has a Fendel's Fighting Spirit, it's just a 2 block, but it also means I go down to 4, and if there's any world where he survives a 10-foot tall and bulletproof, I'm dead to like red arcane cussing, what do you call it, Deadwood Dirge. I mean, to be fair, we've seen each other's pitch at this point, and I know that's not a thing, but just in case. Yeah, and we're going to present 13, and I'm pretty sure our opponent's going to be dead. And even if he's not, he's on 3 cards, on 4. I've still got boots up. On 6 life, it's effectively fatigue. Fatigue by damage at this point. But yeah, I think our opponent's deck didn't... Like, one of the big differences is I had a lot of 3 blocks. And there was a lot of turns where I sent like 7 at my opponent. He blocked 2 cards for 4. Yeah, even though his hand is 2 blocks. I think that makes quite a big difference. And yeah, I've still got the Sigil of Deadwood left for next turn to dirge. So yeah, I think this game was pretty... even though the draw on turn 0 is a bit awkward, I think it's pretty one-sided. Opponent's deck was pretty good, but yeah, it is what it is. Alright, that was game 1. See you in game 2. Okay, so this is game 2 against Aurora. I'm starting out the 2 Blossoming Decays again, and I'm deciding whether I want to side out this 10-foot tall and bulletproof, I think. Yeah, because I don't really want to draw that. I don't want to block or attack with it, obviously. I'm never going to be blocking for 10 against Aurora, unless I don't know, some miraculous thing happens. But yeah, so I just bring in some extra 3 blocks over the 2 blocks. Our opponent's going first, just has one piece of equipment, so... and immediately presents Red Oaths of the Arknight, which I'm like pretty scared about, to be honest. But to present an attack would mean he goes off an arsenal, unless it's like a Hocus Pocus. I mean, this line was pretty weird for me. I didn't quite understand why. I think the better line is to just attack with Trip to Light Fantastic, make a lightning token, and arsenal the Deadwood Dirge. But this is coming in for 3 and 4. I'm just thinking, is it ever worth it to Sanctuary here? I feel like against Aurora, because they present a lot of turns with like meet and greets and stuff, sometimes you want to save the Sanctuary, but my opponent doesn't have Runehold release, so it's a bit less likely that I'm going to just like randomly get owned by that. And my hand isn't, it's okay, but as in I could present a Sigil and then Rune Ranger Swarm and attack with Sword. But I think it's better to just essentially full block this. Save some life. And a lot of time against Aurora, if I'm using Sanctuary later on in the game, I'm pretty much dead. So I feel like it's not that important, especially as I said, because my opponent isn't presenting Rune Hold Release into me. Yeah. So stay on 20, essentially traded 1 card for 2 cards. I don't like that I've pitched 2 blues already and then draw into 3 other blues because we're only running 10 blues. So this turns a bit awkward because yeah, I would have to Arsenal the Fertile Ground. I do want to play out the Sigil of Deadwood just because it enables some stuff in the deck. And blue Fertile Ground's kind of an okay arsenal, I guess. I was considering just playing out the Fertile Ground and then swinging for 7. I keep 1 extra blue in the deck. But yeah, my opponent just takes 7. Doesn't have a lightning token either, so I'm not like really scared. But okay, well, if his hand doesn't block, that kind of makes sense. Just presents 7. Interesting. Our hand doesn't really do anything because we're not online yet, and he doesn't have go again. Yeah, this is a benefit of getting that Sigil of Deadwood down, because now our turn is at least we've full blocked and we're still able to go 1 and 4 while keeping the Plow Under in the deck. And we're pretty happy with that. Our opponent still doesn't have a lightning token. They do have a rune chant, which, as mentioned before, it will be able to enable things like meet and greets. But if that happens, it is what it is. Blocks of yellow. I think here I'm just kind of like marveling at how many yellows my opponent has. Yeah, he just uses the hat straight away, which is probably correct because I also don't have Rune Hold Release, so it's not always guaranteed that I'm going to be presenting split damage later down the line. He presents Arcane Cussing, which is sad because I have no way to prevent Rune Chant, but that's fine. Red hit the high notes is just for 6. He hasn't played an Aura, so sure. And I'm going to be able to present 7, so take a damage and present 7, threatening a embodiment of Earth, and I'm like ready to draw my other root bound carapace. And I'm noting here that I'm pitching more blues away, so I'm kind of scared of just full bricking. Yeah, he just presents 3. I'm definitely blocking. My consideration here is whether I play the Thistle Bloom after I strong yield in Sword, just for heal 1, or to keep that card in the deck and keep the 3 block in the deck and just play out my arsenal. I think I want to clear out my arsenal at this point while I can. Yeah, just because I'm going to be starting to draw into things like my Red Arcane Cussing, Deadwood Dirge, and stuff like that. And if I draw one of the combo pieces, I do want to have that arsenal slot free. And getting whether 2 life or 3 life from this Fertile Ground, it's probably not going to matter that much. And keeping a 3 block in the deck may be relevant later. So I do go for this line, I think. Just present 4. And opponent's really low now. I'm still on 19. Doesn't have an embodiment up. But he does have a 5-card hand. So, yeah. Okay, that's a burn-up shock. I think that's the one we passed them. So, yeah. I've got not online, so shoes aren't online, hat's not online. It's going to be pretty hard to block this whole turn. But, I mean, we're not... as much as I want to keep strong yield in the tilling, I also want to start decomposing. And I'm 10 life up. Just considering whether I just take the sword. But I think I always want to block 2 on this and essentially try to block out as much of the turn as possible before I eat the burn-up shock. I could block the Fry for 3 and Here I'm just considering whether I want to use the Rootbound Carapace or not, but a lot of time he's going to present a 4 at the end of the chain. Especially he kept this whole hand to try and push through this burn up shock. So yeah, so good thing we didn't block the fry with the Rootbound Carapace. Because we're able to deny this embodiment trigger, embodiment on hit from the lightning form. And it's just worth using the hat here, I think, to deny the embodiment. It's worth a little bit more than the 1 extra health that I'll get from my next turn. Especially now we're going to be presenting, I think this is 10 back. He has to give us at least 1 card. He has no embodiment, and we are pretty safe. Yeah, just to know with decomposing, you'll notice I always decompose my non-action earth cards first. It's not relevant here, but just a good habit to get into, to make sure you're more consistent with your decomposers. It just gives me all his cards, which is fine by me. Actually, I had a pretty good turn there, and I'm just a god and just drawn to the nuts. Yeah, I consider whether I want to dirge my cussing or not, but presenting 3 into 4, it's very likely the cussing is just going to trigger off the sword, unless, and if it gives me 2 cards, I'm not like sure. I can always dirge it next turn because I'm almost at no risk of taking damage when my boots are up and I'm drawing into a full hand against his 2 cards. So I'm happy to just sword here. I think here I'm just looking through the grave to see if I've got any more targets for this Deadwood Dirge if I arsenal it. I mean, worst case scenario, this is going to hit and I'm going to be able to dirge 1 of the rune chants next turn. I go neg 1 rune chant, but it essentially loads my makes my turn a bit more loaded next turn. If he takes this damage, here goes the 4, and I'll be able to present 7 rune chants next turn. Yeah, so in the tank, whether I want to use a dirge or not, decide against it. Just swing for 4. Yeah, as expected, opponent just takes it. Effectively dead next turn with 4 chance on board. Sure, he's got Sanctuary of Aria and he's got Trip to Light Fantastics, but more or less it's dead. Yeah, and do draw the Arcanic Spike as well, which obviously is good with our rune chance, but here he presents 1. Wow, do I block 1? Surely this has no go again when he pitches a yellow electrostatic discharge. He pitches a yellow discharge to play a yellow discharge, and this is hit the high notes for 6. I think I mentioned here like he might flash out a sigil, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not dead, but that's like one of the only kind of combat tricks you can have this set, right? So I'm blocking at least 3 here. I'm thinking I push guaranteed, effectively push guaranteed lethal here, but hypothetically if the life was a little bit higher, I'm just considering whether I block with the Sigil Fendel or whether I want to Deadwood Dirge the Sigil Fendel. So block 3 on 6 and feel like a genius when he flashes out a Sigil of Lightning. Yeah, and I'm just going to go Sigil of Fendel, Deadwood Dirge, gain a life, make 4 rune chants, and hit him for 8 and 7. Which is pretty good when your opponent is on 4 with no Arcane Barrier. Yeah, so that was game 2. I think pretty straightforward game. Not sure my opponent played optimally, starting from turn 0. So yeah, but overall, I think the deck quality of this Aurora was not that high, not that strong. Again, there were 3 Auroras on the pod, so that's kind of expected, and I believe this was the opponent that was directly to our left. But yeah, see you in game 3. Okay, game 3 against another Aurora. I'm gonna use the same sideboard as last game because it worked. I think here I'm just like grieving because I hadn't used some of my sideboard cards, and like thinking about the yellow Blossoming Decay, that one pick where I could have picked a blue Sigil of Deadwood, I believe. Might have been a better choice, but hey, it is what it is. I'm quite surprised this Aurora is on this 3-0 game, given it's a 3 Aurora pod, but I guess Aurora can kind of just get there. They choose first again, and they've got full equipment, so already looking slightly more difficult than the previous matchup. Interestingly here, we've got blue tilling. We can, if they attack us, we can guarantee to decompose turn 1. I don't know if it's worth that, or to just block with the middle 2 cards and send 7 in Arsenal the tilling. Yeah, so this is a pretty standard start for Aurora. Attack with lightning, attack with yellow, pitch 2 yellows, make a yellow token. Nice. Yeah, so here I can play the Sigil of Deadwood and attack for 7, or I can go Runaways Swarm with the Sigil of Deadwood. Essentially the same first turn as the last game, I think. And then Arsenal the Autumn's Touch. I think I decide I want to just cash in the Runaways Swarm while I can. As in make sure I get its go again effect. Because my opponent has Embodiment of Lightning on board, they're kind of less incentivized to block. So I want to throw this 3 first, see how they react, and potentially either throw 4 or attack for 7 with the Autumn's Touch. I think if they give me a card, I want to attack with the 7 power, just because like they don't really want to give 2 more cards or like another card with their embodiment up. Blocks with a blue and then another blue, and I'm kind of thinking, oh, have they just drawn a full yellow hand into a full blue hand, which would be kind of funny. But hey, sometimes it's better lucky than good, and I'm the lucky one. So opponent's tanking on this block, or it's just Talishar. No, they're tanking. So they block with 2 blues, well 3 blues this turn. So it looks like they just had a really unfortunate full blue hand, or maybe 3 blues and red. So take 1. So now I kind of regret attacking with the 7. Maybe I should have just attacked with the 4, Arsenal the 7. It's pretty good. I draw into the Rootbound Carapace, so I can decompose. I was thinking, is there any punish for taking the damage of the second strike? Probably not, considering how they blocked. So I just want to... There's no guarantee they attack again, so I'm just going to make sure I cash in this Rebound Carapace. And they attack for 2, and they are going to make a token and pass. And good thing we played the Sigil of Deadwood last turn, so now we're going to be able to go 1 and 3 into 4. Arsenal Deadwood Dirge, and we are feeling pretty good. Have to pitch Plow Under away, but it is what it is. Also, my opponent's turn, he pitched a yellow Lightning Surge. I think if I were him, I would have blocked 3 less and just attack for 2 with the Lightning Surge, with Go Again into Sword and to make a token, and keep the second strike in the Arsenal. Yeah. I think you don't really want to go too long against Florian. So just chipping a little bit of damage here and there, making sure Florian's not like presenting a billion is good. So he takes a 3, then uses 2 pieces of armor to prevent 2, which again, because I don't have Rune Hold Release, just using it in the first instance is good. And they attack for... No, they use the token to attack for 4, Go Again. I think here I want to block damage. Obviously my hand isn't that good. But because of what they're representing, they've got 2 floating, I'm effectively really scared of hand that holds the pin, because of my Arsenal's Deadwood Dirge, and you know Aurora love to draft these cards. And even on the sword here, I'm a little bit like hesitant to block, because he can still pitch a blue, play a hand that holds the pin, and then make a token. He's just gonna make a token and pass, and now I look like a friggin' fool keeping this whole hand that does nothing. I guess the good thing is I get to play out this fertile ground, which is kind of like blocking too. It's not really. What am I trying to do here? Alright, I'm thinking of whether I send 6 or send 4 and play the fertile ground. I think I decide to just heal a bit of life. Yeah, not sure which one is correct. I like getting the no block out of the deck. We might not even get to see the cycle, but gaining a little bit of life and setting up an aura. Cool. Unfortunately, our hero power, well, we're not online yet. So having the Cussing Dirge combo isn't going to be the full 8 rune chance. With this hand, I'm thinking I just want to block with the Fendel's Fighting Spirit and then play the Cussing, use my bodice, go back up to 3, and then decompose with the Cadaverous Tilling. So opponent attacks for 3 go again using the lightning. So there's a second strike that hasn't gotten its value, and because he leads with the second strike, I already know. Well, it's almost guaranteed that he doesn't have a lightning attack, at least not a lightning attack, that he's willing to start with. So he might have a blue, but probably not a red. Yeah, so take the damage. And again, because he's floating 2, I just want to hold back my blocks and see what he does. This is such an unusual line. He plays a Sigil of Deadwood, and yeah, I don't know. So now again I look really dumb, but I guess I get to save my bodice. Yeah, unsure. It's like one of those things that I don't I can't predict my opponent's play, because like I didn't expect them to hold that Sigil of Deadwood. Like, I feel like it'd be better to just block with it, or block with whatever they pitched with. Yeah, here I'm thinking they can't really block 10 on this anyway. If they give their whole hand, I think now my hero power is online, I believe. So if they give their whole hand, next turn I just dirge it for full value anyway. So I'm pretty happy. And even if their Sigil of Deadwood pops in, they try to attack me with like Rune Chance or something, I've got, because now I'm online and I can well grounded the Rune Chance, I am in no threat of losing my Cussing. They have a pretty nice play though. I think they bounce back. Sorry, I think my video's in the way of the what you call it, the text. But they bounce back the red, the Triplite Fantastic, and hit the high notes. I'm unsure if that's correct. I'm just going to rewind it a little bit to see what the options were. Yeah, because they also have the Fluttering Charge. I think I want to bounce this Fluttering Charge as opposed to the high notes, because then you're coming in for 4, 1, 4, and potential 1, 4, 2, make carry a lightning. And because I've got hat and feet online, I feel like the 5, it's kind of the same. Like you don't present an extra breakpoint, but you're able to carry a lightning token over. Okay, so yeah, and that way their sword is online for 2 instead of 1. Anyway, everything's face up, so I can kind of block this as needed. So I have shoes for the rune chart, and I want to block a full 5 on this. I kind of derp out here. Yeah, I want to block full 5 on this because I want to carry the prevention for either the 1 on the sword, or if they rune hold release the second rune chart. I think I'm just going to give one of these cards, just thinking whether it's the earth form or the vantage point. I think I conclude that 8 into 7 overpower is better than presenting an embodiment. Yeah, as expected, they popped the release. I guess this forces me to block with my hat. Not sure if that's correct, and I mean, well, it's not really going to matter at this point, but because I was still floating my well-grounded prevention. Yeah, now I get full value on the casting in the dirge, and then present 15, 7 of which is overpowered. I think this is effectively going to be the game here. They can trip. Oh, okay. They can heal life. But they're still gonna have to give a card on this attack, and no embodiment, no arsenal. It's pretty much over. Okay, so they go to 3. Yeah. Aura 7. Next turn get a +3. It's pretty good. This is now stripping 2 cards minimum per turn. Well, with every 7. Here I'm just checking how many 7 powers I've got left, or how many big attacks I've got left. They go to 1. Hopefully they can present something back. And I draw like a complete brick of a hand. Yeah. At least I can hocus pocus for 5 and create 2 rune charts, and pretty much call it lethal the next turn. So it's gonna block, and okay, my opponent just concedes. Yeah, with the yeah. So even though I draw a brick there, I think I'm pretty much got the game in the bag. Anyway, that is the full 3 games. Oh, I go over the deck a little bit here. So this was a full deck. I never end up playing the yellow blossoming decays, and because I didn't play any wizards, I didn't bring in like the red arcane polarity, but I think those are the kind of the or the brush offs. But I think that's the only kind of 2 cards that come in the sideboard that we didn't see in action. But yeah, that was the Florian draft. Yeah, hopefully I can bring another video of like a draft that requires a bit more decision making before, you know, in the next few days. I feel like this draft was pretty straightforward. When you open Plow Under and then get past some pretty good earth cards, the draft plays itself. But hopefully this was useful, and let me know what you'd like to see next. Otherwise I will just put out unprovoked draft content, because it's helping me as well. Let me know if you have any tips as well, any particular I guess picks that you would have done differently, any plays you would have done differently. But yeah, cheers, catch y'all later.